So this is our stove.
What's up, bosses? I'm JoeMan543, and in this video I'm going to cook with only dollar store stuff, including how I cook it. That means no stove, no forks and spatulas, none of that unless I got it at the dollar store.
So first I had to take a trip to the dollar store, obviously. This'll be fun! And I didn't actually know what they would have there, so I had to take a look and then figure out what I wanted to cook. I was looking in the frozen section here. Not a very big one, but I did find some fish. In fact, some salmon. Lucky for me, I was able to find some salmon and some broccoli and rice. Going on from there, grab some salt and pepper, and then I had to actually figure out how to cook it. This is where the cost adds up. So the main thing I had to figure out was what heat source I could possibly use. I looked at some candles, but then I actually found some burners that are used for buffet food to keep it warm. And then I actually found some napkin holders which fit pretty well with them, so I could support whatever I was going to cook on. Instead of a frying pan or something like that, which unfortunately I couldn't actually find, I grabbed some bread loaf pans, and then some stuff to eat with. And since everything is from the dollar store, gotta get water too. 4 bags. Let's go home. Okay, just finished shopping at the dollar store. Came out to just over $26, so realistically not cheap. But I'm not doing this as a money-saving experiment. It's more of a just can you do it experiment. Obviously, it'd be way cheaper to use the plates and stove that are already at my house. But the idea of this experiment is to test whether I can fully cook the meal only using stuff from the dollar store. Cook and eat, of course. I'm gonna eat it. If I didn't eat it, that'd be kind of lame, wouldn't it? If you take a look here, we'll see everything was $1. And then some tax. $26.64. So the plan here is I'm going to cook a salmon fillet, have some rice and broccoli with it, and salt and pepper because that's nice to have. As for how to cook it, I'm not allowed to use a stove. Stoves cost more than $1. So instead, I'm going to use these. These are typically used for keeping things warm at a buffet. You'll light the flame and fire comes out. So I knew rice was going to take the longest, so I started that first. Put some rice in, put some water in. I didn't actually buy a measuring cup, so I just sort of guessed. And my first idea didn't actually work out. It smothered the flame immediately. So I reorganized a little bit, put the napkin holders on top of the flames, and that gave enough space so that it didn't smother the flame. So after I got the rice going, I got the salmon going. It was frozen, so I had to make sure that I cooked it thoroughly so it wasn't raw in the middle. And just like the rice, oh man. And as it turns out, the metal doesn't like getting too hot, so I'd add a little bit of water there. So I guess it's kind of boiled salmon. I could have done oil, but I didn't think about that, and so I didn't get any oil. And lastly, I got the broccoli going. And lastly, I'm gonna get the broccoli going. Now, any frozen vegetable will work. I just like broccoli. Of course, cover it in aluminum foil so we can keep the heat in. Okay, so at this point I have broccoli, salmon, and rice going. They seem to be cooking just fine. Dollar store stove. In case you're wondering, I do have a window open, so I'm not going to asphyxiate in here, so safety. I suppose I should also mention, this is not a how-to video, this is a how I did it video. So if you do it and it doesn't work for you, not my fault. Alright, let me give you a little more up-close view. So this is our stove, and I'm using napkin holders to elevate the pan, you could say. Alright, so we have rice here, which is, you know, cooking. I probably need to add more water to that, honestly. Then we have our salmon here, which I just flipped. Technically, I'm boiling it. The pan doesn't like having direct flame. It burns. And then we have our broccoli. And then I'm covering all these to maximize the heat that's kept in. Honestly, this is working pretty well. You know, if I had a normal pan and, you know, a better arrangement of burners, this would be just like a gas stove. I mean, it already is like a gas stove, but anyway.
So I guess I'm steaming the salmon or something. I'm gonna try and flip it. I couldn't find any tongs, so I got a, what do you call this, a salad grabber. Anyway, I'm gonna flip the salmon. Conveniently, this also has a spoon and a fork. When it comes to broccoli, you push a fork into it, and it should be pretty easy. If it goes through with no resistance, you overcooked it. There should be a little bit there. You don't want just mush. But, yeah, just push your fork in, and it should go in fairly easily. Obviously, raw broccoli, you push your fork in, and you might actually break your fork, honestly.
And then after a while, the meal was finally all cooked.
Man, would you look at that. We got broccoli, we got rice, we got salmon. This is a good meal right here.
Well, all right, my proportions weren't perfect. I mean, I still have a ton of rice and some broccoli, but that's a meal right there. I mean, I have had better salmon, but it costs $1. We got the meat food group there, we got the grains, we got the veggies. All we're missing is dairy and fruit. If you go with the pyramid, as I grew up with. But yeah.
Cook this whole thing with stuff from the dollar store.
Given that this costs just over $26, let's be honest, just go out to eat.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. I'm JoeMan543. This has been cooking a meal with only stuff from the dollar store. I recognize my table isn't from the dollar store. Just imagine I'm doing this in a parking lot on the ground. That just makes everything easier. If you like the video and you want to see more like it, there's a like button down below you can press. Likewise, comment and subscribe. Excuse me. And if you want to see more of it, let me know. If not, I understand. Some things come and go. So I hope to see y'all on the next video. And until then, I'm JoeMan543. You are the bosses. Feel free to let me know what you think. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, and in case you're wondering, it took about an hour for setting up and cooking. Probably could have gone a little quicker, but I did have to learn how to cook with my setup.